I've talked about some terrible movies I've seen and some supposedly terrible movies that I really liked. Thank you, Return of the Killer Tomatoes. I finally got around to watch a movie I've heard about since the 80s. And holy crap, was this garbage. Greetings, Dave here, DCBFX. Now, I'm in the middle of redoing my website, and that's a video for another time. It's funny how 3 years ago, that's fine, it won't be a problem, and then 450 posts later, I have to redo them all. A story for another time. Anyway, Ravenclaw. Fun story, I was doing something for my friend Larry. He said, can someone do this? And I went, yeah, no problem. 10 points to Gryffindor. Ravenclaw, actually. 10 seconds later, 10 points to Ravenclaw. Thanks, Larry. Anyway, the terrible movie I'm talking about is this. Krull. Now, I've known about Krull since it came out in the 80s. It looked kind of weird. It's a weird alien in the back and this weird knife thing. And then, you know, it was featured, well, the glaive was, in Ready Player One. Now, I've heard about the glaive. I've heard about it for years and years and years and years. Now, I read about Krull recently somewhere. I couldn't tell you where. It just came up and I went, I should see that movie. It's been out long enough. It's been almost 40 years. I should see it. Came out in 1983. I went looking for it. And I look for to acquire it. And I start poking around. It's on the Internet Archive. Go ahead and download it. It's been archived for posterity. I don't know why. Anyway, download the MP4, throw it on my Plex server, fire it up on my Apple TV. Wow. Now, some cool actors. What was it? I think Freddie Jones. Some really great British actors. Also, a starting role. I'm not sure it's first, but anyway, it's a very early roles for both Liam Neeson and Robbie Coltrane. So Qui-Gon Jinn and Hagrid. Small roles, but roles nonetheless. Now, the thing that gets me about Krull is not only that it's terrible, because it is, but the beginning of the movie, everything happens and the princess is stolen and then the prince has to get her back because technically he's the king and everything else. The mystic, the wizard, the whatever, says, you need the glaive to do this. Or the glaive, it's a legend. Where do I get the glaive from? The glaive is only available for those who have the fortitude to find it. Go up there. He climbs a mountain, goes into a cave, sees a star. Now, granted, this is not spoilers. This movie's been out for 39 years, so don't get on me about this. He sees a glaive-shaped object in what looks like lava, sticks his hand and pulls it out. Big crusty thing, breaks away. The glaive! Yay, we have the glaive. We can save ourselves. Does he use it? No. Not until the final coda. He doesn't do anything with it. Oh, hang on. No, now it's not the time for the glaive. Now it's not time for the glaive. Oh, now it's not the time. And then when he uses it. Now, you see how the glaive works. You see how it works in Ready Player One. Daito uses it, throws it, takes off, what's his name's arm? The one, anyway. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, the one big guy who's helping Nolan Sorrento, Irok. Which, by the way, totally different character in the book than he was in the movie. The movie is badass, in the book he was a douche. Anyway, chops, his arm comes off and he starts leaking out stuff. Oh, no, and then it gets destroyed when the bomb goes. Ready Player One's been out for years. Go see it if you haven't seen it. It's a great movie. See it on your Oculus Quest if you want to see it in 3D. It's amazing 3D. Backstory. The glaive was this mystical device, and it was basically a five-pointed... Well, it wasn't a five-point star. It was like a five... It's like an octopus with 5 arms, and then blades come out of each arm. And you throw it, and then the prince was able to control it with his mind. Oh, I'm going to get the princess out, and all the glaive just cuts it out, and then he uses it against the bad guy, and that's it. Oh, I need it back. I need it back. And he couldn't get it back. And then it turns out it wasn't what was needed to kill and destroy the bad guy. So the huge buildup on the glaive, like even in the trailers, huge buildup for the glaive, less than 5 minutes, seriously. And it was a beautiful prop. It was a really beautiful prop. Whoever made it did a really good job. It looked really great. Wasn't used. So now that I've seen it, I can put it on my list, check, of terrible movies I've seen. And I've seen a lot of them. I've seen a lot of garbage. I actually found one in the archive as well, which was a funny movie I saw years ago, the first nudie musical. And it stars like Cindy Williams, and it just was, I think it actually is an Alan Smithee film, before Alan Smithee films. If you don't know, Alan Smithee film is a film that the director wants nothing to do with. He puts his name down as Alan Smithee instead. There's some movies out there like, oh, I've forgotten my name on it. Parker Stevenson, medical school one. I'll put it here. Stitches. A couple other films like that. Alan Smithee, like, oh, he's a real prolific director. No, people don't want their names on it. Anyway, or maybe I'm wrong about Alan Smithee. Anyway, for the first nudie musical. But it's a terrible movie, and I watched it, and I kept hoping it's going to get better because it's like, it's Krull. It's attained cult status. It's Krull. It's going to be something. And I got to the end, and had the credits rolled, and went, what? There's more and more movies like that these days. I watch Thor, Love and Thunder, and it's like Marvel's run out of ideas. The last several I've not been fans of, and I'm doing that a lot. That's it. It's over. What, really? I guess the problem is I grew up in the 80s. I was raised in the 70s, but I grew up in the 80s watching really great movies in the 80s. And I guess that was lightning in a bottle, because there's been a long time since there's been a whole, really good thing like that. Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe to start was okay. Like, it really hit the ground sort of like after Iron Man, and then Hulk, and then it started taking off. And I was saying to my daughter, after we watched Love and Thunder, I keep wanting to say Love and Monsters, very different movie. They hit their peak, Infinity War, and Endgame was okay. And then it sort of just... Anyway, I've seen a lot of great movies. I've seen a lot of terrible movies. And, well, this is going to sort of go in the terrible. Like, I've seen it. I'm not going to take anything away from the fact that I'm not going to say, well, yeah, I'm not saying I want my 2 hours back. But it wasn't that bad. But, yeah, it wasn't like Ishtar bad. But there's lots of movies I've seen. It's like, I'd like my 2 hours back, please. And it was all right. But it was like, oh, are you kidding me? Really? Anyway. So I've seen it, and it's done. And again, to go back to one of my previous videos, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you anything. I'm just saying I've seen it, and I wasn't really a big fan. Hey, if you haven't seen Krull, give it a try. It's available for free. You need an internet connection to download. Go search for Krull. You'll find it on the Internet Archive or archive.org. Search for Krull. It's an MP4. Download it, and off you go. It's in decent widescreen format, so you can do that. So you're all good. But yeah. Maybe get a 6-pack, because seeing it with a drink might have been better. I haven't had a drink in 254 days. So yeah, maybe it would have benefited from a couple beers or a glass of wine. So that's today's video. Like I say, still plugging through my website. I've fixed 200 posts, another 200 to go. I need to go through all that's another video for another time. But anyway, that's it. Have a great day. We'll talk to you all later.